everyone, in this video, we will be multiplying rational expressions, and this is the third part. I will put the link of the first and second part in the description box below. Before we jump into this first example right here, let's have a review on the basics of multiplying rational expressions. We remember that in multiplying rational expression, or pretty much multiplying fraction, we are supposed to multiply them across. Let's take this general formula right here. If we have A over B times C over D, in order that we can multiply this two rational expression or these two fractions, we multiply them across. So A times C, so that's how we got A times C right here. And we multiply at the same time the two denominators, B times D, and that's how we got BD. Now, we remember that this is only true when B is not equal to 0 or D is not equal to 0. Because then if any of this is 0 or both of these are 0, so then we can go ahead and say that this expression becomes undefined because dividing by 0 is undefined. Okay, going back to the examples right here, before we can multiply this, there are steps that we need to follow. The first step is to factor out both the numerator and the denominator. So I'm just going to show the work on how we can factor the numerator and the denominator on the side right here. Okay, so we're going to start with this one. Since this is a trinomial, we can factor this out using the box and diamond. So then I have to show the work up here. So this spot is for 2x squared minus x minus 6. And this spot right here is for 2x squared plus 3x. And this spot right here would be for x squared plus 7x plus 10. And this one right here is x squared minus 4. So we're going to start with the first one. We're going to use box and diamond for this. Okay, so the factor for this one right here is 2x plus 3, x minus 2. So I can go ahead and write this one in replacement for this. Okay, the next thing that I would do is to factor this out. I will factor out the GCF first. Okay, we move on to the second step. The second step is to simplify. In order that we can simplify this, we can cross this 2 out. We can also cross the 2x plus 3 and 2x plus 3. And then we also have x plus 2 and x plus 2, x minus 2 and x minus 2. Now we remember that when we cross them out, they don't turn into a 0, but instead they turn into 1. So we're going to determine the leftover. So the leftover on the top is x plus 5, and the leftover at the bottom, everything was crossed out, is x. So that we can go ahead and say that this is the product for this two rational expression up there. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that up here. So that is x plus 5 over x. Now please remember that others can get tempted to cross out this x and x here. We can't do that because this binomial that we have here, this means that they are together, so you can't break them apart. So you cannot factor out the x and the x here because they go together. Remember when we Factored it out, it was inside the parentheses. The parentheses tells us that they are together, so you cannot cancel these two out. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. Again, the first step is to factor out both the numerator and the denominator. So I'm going to show the work on the side right here where I will factor both the numerator and the denominator. Okay, I'm going to explain this a little bit right here. Since we have a negative x squared, we can actually factor out negative 1. So I go ahead and factor out negative 1 in this expression that we have here. So that would be negative 1 times x squared. So if I multiply negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. So that means this is a negative 2x. So that if I have negative 1 times negative 2x is a positive 2x. And then I'm going to have here a negative 3. Because if I distribute the negative 1 times negative 3 is a positive 3. So this is the one that we are going to factor out using the box and diamond. So I'm going to show the box and diamond only for this part. Okay, so the factors for this would be we write the negative 1 first because that's part of it, times the factor for this part only. So again, this part is this factor right here. So that is x plus 1. And then we have x minus 3. So then we can go ahead and write that up here. Okay, so after we're done with the first step, we're ready to move on to the second step. The second step is to simplify. In order that we can simplify this, we're going to cross out those that are like terms. Again, if we cross them out, we actually remember that it is equal to 1 and not 0. So we have x plus 1 and x plus 1. We can cross this out. We have x minus 1 and x minus 1. We can cross this out. We also have here the 3x plus 2 and 3x plus 2. We can cross these two out as well. So we have x minus 3 and x minus 3. We can cross this out. So the leftover that we have here is just negative 1. So the final answer here would be a negative 1. So this is our final answer when we multiply these two rational expression up there. So I can go ahead and write this as negative 1. Did you get the same answer as this? Negative 1? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!